This is the built-in Ceron Lightbee X controller GPS tracker. Should be great. You have a nice connection. I just got this, so ignore that. It's default built-in. You can just put in a SIM card, press on, send an SMS command, and it should just work. Unfortunately, after having a lot of conversations with the provider of the platform, they actually informed me that a lot of these trackers just don't work in Europe because they're from China, so it was effectively just useless. So I could send SMS and get feedback, but it didn't connect using GPRS to the server, so it was a little bit useless. So I said, okay, no problem, and just use a connector, maybe use something like this, 12 volt to 5 volt thingy, just normal. I can even just use a decent tracker that I know that works, and done. Unfortunately, someone made a brilliant decision to not just put 12 volt on it like in any other motorcycle, just put like the full 70 volts on there. So yeah, well, this burned, and GPS tracker is also useless. Well, not that one, but this one is now completely useless. So yeah, so what we're going to try to do now is the same idea, but let's just see if we can use this one just to get our 5 volts to power the other one. The other one has a battery of 20 days. This one had battery of 1 day or something. So I'm just gonna use this as a big power brick, because it's very, very hard to find 70 volts to 5 volts anyway, and well, it's not that bad in the size. So we do lose the size of this one to get under the saddle to get the other tracker in there. But I was thinking maybe if I can just dismantle it like this one, might be okay. It's sorry. It's a little. It's not that big anymore. Just dismantle it, so it might fit. I don't know. So I have this one like that, and then this one as a power, and then maybe connect it like that. I don't know. So let's give that a try. Okay, so a little bit of soldering later. This will be cleaned up, but it shouldn't matter that much. It will not be that much of a power going through them. I'm giving maybe 70 volts, but not a lot of ampere, so that's fine. But interesting thing is that there's 2 pins here. One is ground and one is 5 volt out. So if everything goes okay, then this just might be a nice power converter for me now to actually get another GPS tracker on, which works. Now, I first thought of just dismantling the entire thing and then just keeping only the power adapter, but maybe someone will prove me wrong and that this tracker does actually work, and then I still have that option. So I'm gonna try it out now, see if I actually get my 5 volts without turning it on, because otherwise I have 2 trackers doing nothing. And if that works, then I'll try to assemble it. So I tried it out, everything worked, plugged it in, and of course, as you expect, if there's 5 volt out indication, well, then you expect to get your 5 volts, which of course this thing doesn't give you at all. So I really don't know what design decisions went into this GPS tracker system, because everything else on the CERN is really quite great, but having 70 volts just for GPS tracking instead of the 12 volts all the other accessories use, don't get it. Not having it work on it with European GPS or GPRS or 2G or 4G or whatever SIM cards, it doesn't just work. If you plug it in and it's on off position, it still turns on. So I don't know what it's trying to send to who, but you know, Chinese. So yeah, I'm able to get 5 volts, of course, of the battery. So if I can just replace this battery indicator, these 2 lines of the battery, just remove the battery and use this as 5 volts. But still, then it's turning on for some reason. I don't want to have it turned on. So yeah, at this point I'm pretty fed up with the entire system. I've blown my fuses off the sun a few times already. Lost one GPS tracker because I was foolish enough not to test the voltage. So yeah, I'm gonna give up for the moment. Try to find maybe 70 volts to 5 volts component, something like this one. I would love to find something small and something I know that should work for 70 volts. So far I haven't found anything, but yeah, who knows. So that's it. The Saturn tracker is completely useless for me, and as far as I can tell from the software vendor where all this connects to, there are a lot of them who have issues with it. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it's tracking, but it's not tracking for us.